Hello, my YouTube friends. Now let's talk about bad news on great companies this week or today. Beautiful day here in Las Vegas. Stick around. We're going to talk about three companies that I see as a great opportunity to buy right now on Monday. Good morning. My name is Adam Kahn, and I'm the Rational Investor. I hope you're all doing well. I hope the helicopter isn't making too much noise. Here I am in sunny Las Vegas and enjoying a beautiful day. Today is Saturday, April 13th. I'm actually hanging out at my son's swim practice, figuring I'd do a video for you guys. Before I get into the three stocks that I'm going to pick today, if you could do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, make some comments in the comment section. Tell me what you think, what stocks you like. I'm going to stick with the bad news on good stocks in this video, which is something I tend to really enjoy. And again, I say this in all the videos. I really mean this. This is not financial advice. I'm not suggesting you guys make any trading decisions for yourself based on this. These are just the things that I'm discussing that work for me, because everybody's situation is different, and what works for me may not work for you. It depends on all sorts of things that come into play, not just your age, but your income and where you are in your life. I definitely in some of my accounts take more risk than I should, but I'm comfortable doing that. So anyway, stick around. We're going to talk about three different stocks today. I'm also going to talk about the CPI number and some other things as well. So let's thank those gloom and doomers out there, because all of that bad information that makes it seem so scary is actually what I like about the markets right now. I see that move down on Friday as well as the one on Wednesday as good opportunity to buy some things. I think the economy is still doing okay, despite a lot of people struggling, despite the highest credit card debt, despite a whole lot of things that sound super scary. The reality is earnings have been increasing. The companies make sense in terms of their valuation, at least in my opinion. Again, not financial advice. But I think the things look really good right now. And CPI came out at 3.5, but there were over 300,000 new jobs created, and earnings were up a little over 4%, showing that they're outpacing the inflation rate. GDP is good. That's a sign of a strong economy. And the Fed has stuck with their rhetoric that they plan to make 3 cuts this year. Now, they said that originally, and the markets thought that they would make 7 cuts and got overexcited. They've stuck with 3 cuts the entire time. Now the markets are estimating somewhere between 0 and 3 cuts. Maybe they're a little too pessimistic, the same way they were too optimistic. And I like pessimism. That creates opportunity. So let's get into the 3 stocks. So these are in no particular order. It's just what comes to my head to talk about. Stock number 1, UPS. What do I like about UPS? Well, they actually had good news that caused the stock to collapse after they had some bad earnings that caused the stock to collapse. To me, that's really good opportunity because I'm getting a grade A company at a discounted price. Now, I didn't go in fully here. I bought maybe 25% of what I'd like to, because I'd like to have some money into UPS where it is now. And my thought is if it really pulls back a good bit more, that's where I'll pull the trigger and overinvest. But at least for now, I have some money in it so that if this happens to be the bottom and it continues higher from here, well, I put something in, I'll be happy about that, even though I'll kind of kick myself that I didn't put all that I wanted to. And that's how I tend to do things. I don't know if that would work for you guys or not. That's how I like to invest. What I like about UPS is they're huge. They've been around a long time. And while they might have new competition from companies like Amazon and others that are new to the space, they still get used by those companies as well because their system is incredible. They move a ton of packages per hour, and their margins are decent. They've also started a plan to reduce their staff. I'm guessing, along with a lot of other companies, these are the type of companies that AI is going to help that people haven't really thought of. It'll make them more efficient. It'll help them with the direction of where the trucks drive to save on gas. It'll help minimize staff. It'll become more automated. And they'll be able to continue to grow earnings into the future. Now, you add to that that right now, after the stock fell, they're paying a 4% dividend. Now, I didn't dig into it a ton, but it looks like they make plenty of money to pay that dividend as well. So that's the other reason that if the stock continues to go lower, I'm happy to pick more up. If I can make 4% return on dividend payments to help pay bills while owning a company, that's kind of nice to me. Now, I am not a pure dividend investor. I try to pick companies that I just think are great companies, and UPS fits that mold. I see them as a great company. So that's number one. Number two on my list, and maybe my favorite, is Palo Alto Networks. They had earnings that came out that were just fine, but they discussed changing the way that they kind of do their selling and their accounting moving forward because they see it as a better way to actually grow the business. The market didn't really love that. I don't know why it didn't like it, but it didn't, which is fair to the market. And I see this as a great opportunity to get into an incredible space that I wasn't in to begin with. I actually put on my hold trade for Palo Alto Networks because what I worry about is it's one of those companies that can just run and run and run for years. They're into cybersecurity, which, as we know, more and more places get hacked, and they're probably the top name in the industry, and then maybe CrowdStrike as well. I think they're both great companies. I would lean towards Palo Alto Networks. So when I saw the pullback on last earnings, I jumped in. Now, I suppose if it fell further, I would do my best to buy more, but I'm comfortable with the position I put in on it. And I'm hoping that when they report next earnings and the earnings are good, that we start to see the company move up and start drifting higher and just continue to grow year over year. Now, the one thing I'd be cautious about is Market Edge sees them as overbought. They actually put them as a company to short sell back at the end of February. I just happen to disagree with them, but it does show there's some concern that people think that maybe they're overpriced. Me, I think they're a great opportunity to get into the cybersecurity space. And generally, the best companies tend to be overpriced, and sometimes they stay that way for a very long time. I mean, look at Costco. I haven't owned it forever, basically because every time I look at it, it's overpriced, but it keeps going and going and going. That's really my hope on a company like Palo Alto Networks. They're, in my opinion, number one in their space. I want to own the best of the best. I think they're best in breed. That's where I want to put my investments. And now, despite what I just said about Palo Alto Networks, ignore that for the next company because I don't know that I see them as best in breed. I just think that they finally had enough negative news that I think it's probably time, and that's in Boeing. Boeing Airlines has been beat up so many times, and this is like the third or fourth time the stock's been pummeled down to the levels that they're at. Even back in COVID when they got crushed, this is about the lows of where they got to, maybe a little bit lower. But every time they got down to below 170 range, they tended to get down here. They'd get out of the news. Things seem to be improving. They'd shoot up. They'd do well. They'd be back around $240 a share. And then they'd have bad news come out and right back down under $200. And now they're back down to 170 as of Friday. I've seen this level so many times. Maybe the news really is that bad. The company doesn't always seem to be run the greatest. So I do have concerns about that. And there might be better companies in the space. But my God, who's going to compete in building commercial airlines or airplanes? Like, who's going to have the funds and the money to really start building large planes to fly across the country and internationally? They're in a space that's very hard to compete, and they make the most planes for flying around the country and stuff. I mean, everything's a Boeing this or a Boeing that. Between the crashes that happen, And then Southwest just had that thing with the engine, but it may have been Southwest that caused it. I'm not real sure, and they're still investigating. And then all the news about the government intervening, it's so negative. It's hard to imagine what else can come out to push it even further. And I like to buy into bad news because when things are bad, that's when you're getting a discount. And to me, I want to buy things at a discount. You know, what's the saying? The stock market's the one thing that when things go on sale, people run for the exit. I think that's really true. I mean, look at Archer Daniels Midland. I get that the news can be scary, but when things were at their worst, that was at the lowest. Look at Target. They were talking about closing stores and theft and all the other things when the stock traded down to the bottoms. You know, I think that's the same what's going on right now with Boeing. The news is so negative. I don't know how much worse that can get. And to me, that creates opportunity. Now, you shouldn't follow me. You should make your own decisions. I've said that earlier. I'll say it again. But I like Boeing here just based on the fact of all the negativity surrounding it. So I hope you're having as good a day as we are. It's gorgeous out here. I'm excited to spend the rest of the day with my family. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Don't forget again, subscribe, thumbs up, make the comments. Tell me the stocks you guys love. I love the conversations. I like to see the channel's up to over 10,000 subscribers now. So I'm super excited about that. Thank you guys and have a great day.